And we're going to talk, Graham's going to talk next about what PPMK chose to do with the proceeds from the short-term loan project. There's a farming project that's been very successful where PPMK will buy an animal and will give it to a farmer, and the farmer raises it, and then when that animal goes for sale, they split the proceeds with the farmer. And then there's also a scholarship program. Some of the additional money that PPMK has had, they've been using to help fund scholarships for especially girls in families that are clients of PPMK. There was one in Indonesia. They have free public education, but it's free, but you have to pay a building fee and a material fee and a book fee. So it ends up for the poor families, they're often making choices about, well, are we going to send our kids to school, or are we going to send them to work? And in a country where money and labor and a return quickly matter, a lot of times families choose to send their children to work instead of to school. And so the scholarships have helped several families send their children to school and make that choice to send their children to high school. So the proceeds of the short-term loan project have become now the toilet project.
So I think one of the exciting things about the team there is that they're not afraid to try. I think you've already heard that. They have a central mission, but they're also not afraid to experiment. And if a project doesn't work out, then they'll move on to something else. What was so extraordinary about this project was, first of all, it was even needed. So if you get a sense of what poverty is out there, if when you realize that many, if not most, of the people that they're providing loans to don't have, let alone indoor plumbing, they don't even have indoor toilets. And so what do? Well, there's the field out back or the stream or whatever. That's the place where they use. So in order to be able to take their living at least to what we would call even minimally acceptable, PPMK has initiated this project. And it's as if what they were doing, this is, by the way, his last free writing Sunday. She's the executive director, and this is Helmy on her lap, and another gentleman who just joined. They're a very young team, very, very passionate and committed small team. And this is in the middle here in the yellow dress is lady that was the recipient of this toilet. And it takes them a weekend to do. They bring in, I think, one professional who's paid, and of course the supplies have to be bought. And it's something they do as if what they were doing itself wasn't laudable, but they do this in their spare time. So when they're not actually working for PPMK as a paid event, and we can talk about that in a second, they're working on this. So when we were there, I think they're doing about one of these a month, because I know they had one just finished when we got there. In fact, they were just putting the sign up. And basically this was the most technologically advanced piece of this person's house. I mean, there was really nothing else. In the next room, there was a bed and a floor. Maybe there was one side table, and that was it. That was the extent of the furniture. So this is transforming their lives in a way that we would think was just remarkable.
Yeah.
Can I ask you how the toilet works? Like, is it a composting toilet? Or?
Yes.
It's a pit toilet.
Yeah. Wow. And yeah. So it just, I mean, which also have issues, but it's still a step up from what they had before.
Before it was just going outside and polluting.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was basically the river was the stream, nearby stream was their toilet.
Yeah, so I'll show you a slide in a minute about the PPMK annual meeting that I attended in August. And I was actually supposed to be introducing the toilet project, and I thought, I got this email from the Austrian, and she said, can you please spend 5 minutes talking about the importance of toilets? And I said, well, I guess I can. And so I'm a public health major, so I was able to draw on some of that. But it was actually really interesting to kind of break down, like, why is it important? What am I going to convey? It's important to have a toilet because you usually go in a stream, but that stream is flowing down to the next village. And so I talked about health and sanitation. It was very, very interesting. So the toilet project actually, this year, from the short-term loan project and from some overflow and some of the other projects, PPMK had enough money to do 4 toilets. And so one of the things I love about this project is I feel like this isn't just us donating money to PPMK, but this is really because it proceeds from the other projects that they've had. This is the women of this program giving the other women of this program a gift. So we give 4 toilets went in this year, or are going in this year. The PPMK team is amazing. So Graham, you want to?
Well, amazing is right. It's hard to convey. This isn't some office building somewhere in the center of Jojikota. This is PPMK Central right here, right in the middle of the rice field, just moments on a motorbike from the first village where we both went. This is the entire team plus 2 because this is me and this is my wife. So take 2 of us out and you have the entire team. So you have 5 people running this whole show. Last 3 here, and then you have 1 person dealing with finance, and then 3 folks dealing with the actual projects themselves, going out every day. They're hardly in the office. They're checking out, and then they're going out in the fields and in the villages. This is a shot from inside. It's just very basic. It's essentially 1 major office with 2 small ones. We're actually in one of these right here. And they're all, as you can see, they're a young team. To get a sense, though, and I think we're going to talk numbers a bit later on, to get a sense of where your dollars flow, where our dollars flow, the entire salary budget, annual salary budget for these 5 people is $8,000 US. Add in another, I think it's close to 3 for benefits, you've got $11,000 for everything. So that's the remarkable thing about, I think the local currency was $1 million rupees per $1 US. You have to really do a serious reality check when you get there. That's the sort of level they're operating at. But in terms of effectiveness and knowing where your money is spent, I can't think of a better example.
Yeah, and one of the pieces I love about this team is that it's all Indonesian. That these are women and men now. They have 2 men in their group. These are women and men who were born in these villages and who are giving back through their work. So they're pretty amazing. Team. And I just want to show you this quick slide. I attended the annual meeting for the women, and this is the once a year where all of the women from that are served by PPMK come together, and it was an incredible experience because everyone came, everyone was dressed up in their most beautiful clothes that they had, coming together for this lunch event and celebrating PPMK. And several women got up and gave testimonials, and although I don't speak Java, made me want to cry. The emotion that these women felt in their the heartfelt emotion that they had in the testimonials. So, supporting PPMK, I'm going to turn this over to Amanda, right? Mm-hmm. And thank you for letting us talk. Sorry we could go on and on forever about this. These are
It doesn't get much better than this one.
It doesn't get much better than this.
Sorry, we don't have any here for you.
Yeah, sorry. It's tempeh burgers. So they're it's tempeh and like a soy byproduct and coconut and palm sugar ground up together and then deep fried in palm oil. It's amazing.
With sticky rice. Everything comes with sticky rice. Yeah.
You're making me hungry. It was so good. Thank you so much, Mary and Graham. That was fabulous, and I really appreciate your explaining to everybody about how the actual loans are made and how obviously these are changing women's and children's lives, because that's what ultimately this is about. So, hi everybody, my name is Amanda Zinn, and I just want to take 1 second to ask the OPT board members to say hello, just so that you know who we are. Graham, Michael, Anne, Suzanne, Moses, anybody else? Ganesha, sorry. I can't see past the end of my nose, I apologize. And then we have 2 people from the PPMK board, and they are Rachel and Mary, who just presented. So what we're here today to do is to ask if this struck a chord with you, if you would be willing to support PPMK, because before Jack died, there were several of us who promised to him that we would keep this organization going. And it's really not hard when you think about $20,000. That's basically all we need to raise every year is $20,000. But as Jan said in the beginning, it's hard because people here want their money to go here. So we are going to ask if you would support the organization. I just wanted to say one other thing because I just saw Lisa again. I met Jack when he came to a fundraiser for an organization I used to run called Web, and that's where he got the whole idea of starting this organization. And so before he died, I actually went over there and spent some time with them doing a strategic plan or whatever. And so this is like this amazing
Amanda,
circle.
can you tell them what Web is?
Web, Women Entrepreneurs of Baltimore, which is was a nonprofit organization that helped very low-income women become self-sufficient through running a business. Thank you, Moses. And when Jack came over and saw our fundraiser, he was like, if this can work here, why can't it work in Indonesia? He went back knowing nothing about microfinancing and started PPMK. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because Lisa actually filed the 501c3 application for Web back in 1989.
That's awesome.
And Arlene here is a graduate of Web, actually went through the program, so there are a couple things. But so here's the story. If you don't want to take one of these, you don't need to. But what these are, you can pass them around. These are sort of pledge cards, basically. And we have this society, poverty society. What's the name of it? What is it? I can't read that far. Fighting World Poverty Society, which is if you choose to make a pledge for 3 years, you become a member of this society. And trust me, there aren't a lot of benefits to be part of this society other than how you feel inside for contributing for 3 years in a row. So there are certain dollar amounts that are already prescribed on here, but none of those dollar amounts do you have to give. You can give whatever you want to give. $25 goes a really long way in Indonesia, and so if that's what you want to give, we are most appreciative and feel very grateful to you for giving $25. If you have the capacity and feel so inclined, you could make a pledge for $5,000 for 3 years, each year for 3 years. We're happy to take that as well, but we want to make sure you understand that whatever you can do, we really, really appreciate. And so we have a little basket right here that Michael is holding up, and we're accepting checks if you want to leave one today, or the address to send checks is on there, or you can go to our website and pay through PayPal. Yes, Lisa?
Can you talk a little about the structure of overcoming poverty together? So, I mean, I know you've got a group of you now. Are you the main supporter of PPMK? And then you've got a couple people here that are on the board for PPMK,
Right.
but presumably there are other board members. Where are they? I mean, how does all that
Okay,
flow?
thank you. Real quickly, Overcoming Poverty Together is made up of we board members who are non-paid. We have no staff. We do all of this volunteer. We raise money and then we accept grants from PPMK. PPMK is an Indonesian entity, and there are several people on the board, Mary, Rachel, a woman called named Rowan, who actually lives in the Netherlands, who was a previous executive director, and then the staff. And so the PPMK organization sort of board-wise works virtually.